What up? What is happening? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. And as you know, I'm trying to book some big-time guests. This week I had Seth Kushner from Drew Garabo Live, so I was honored. And I couldn't really book anybody else, so I got a cat named Mo, a.k.a. Maurice Jovan here. Hi.
I knew that's how you were going to open the show. I know you think you're being clever, but I knew exactly how you were going to do this. And hello.
How honored are you to be here?
I'm creaming my pants right now. It's amazing.
Should I have to grab you some tissue or what?
You may have to after this is all said and done.
Don't reach the top of the mountain too much. So how's your day going, man? You just finished the Cat Named Mo show. You seem pretty hyper and amped. How's everything been?
Good. The hyper and amp is the Coke from last night, though. It has nothing to do with the Cat Named Mo show.
Did you go to Miami and pick up some?
No, it comes to me, baby.
Oh, yeah, it just gets delivered to your door, right?
Absolutely.
All right, I want everybody...
If only it was that easy.
Oh, yeah, if only it was that easy to get it, delivered. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? I will keep saying
one
it
of
until the
those.
day I die.
You get one jelly bean and that's it.
Oh, but
podcast.
It's my show. There's nothing you can do. I can say whatever I want, brah.
All right.
You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? All right. I want the radio world to get to know you.
When did brah become a popular form of bro? I don't get that. And it's annoying. I have to be honest with you and everybody else that says brah or bruh. Just say bro.
It's like a southern
bro
thing.
Was never broken. Just say bro. Brah.
You say brah. Now... I want everybody to get to know you because a cat named Mo,
they
but
really
they might not know you as Maurice Jovan.
They know me as neither. I'm trying to get known. That's why I'm doing this stupid show.
I don't know if that's going to work. So where were you born?
Chicago.
And did you grow up there, or where did you grow up?
I grew up in Chicago. I came to Florida, Tampa specifically, when I was about 13. And outside of living about 4 or 5 different places for short amounts of time because of work, I've pretty much been a Floridian since.
So let me just get this straight, because I tried to find like a LinkedIn or a way to get your info.
Yes.
And I couldn't, so I just want to ask you.
I'm not on LinkedIn.
I don't you're not fancy.
I don't
want
to be. No, I'm not linking in with you people. By you people, I mean you. I want no part of that.
I would be endorsing you every day like a maniac. You would see who viewed your profile. It'd be like me 100 times.
People stay off of my profile.
I ain't messing with you.
No.
All right. So you grew up in Chicago, and then you moved to Tampa Bay, Florida. And then did you move to different cities for like radio jobs or comedian jobs?
Yeah, let me qualify that. I think I actually grew up in Tampa. I was 13 when I left. You don't really grow up 1 to 13. You're just kind of growing in.
Sort of, but you have memories. It's not like you move into
I know, but really you're growing into a being, and then once you can make your own decisions to a degree, that's when the growing up process starts. And so I would say that I grew up in Florida. And what was the second part of that question?
All the different cities that you said you moved to.
It was it was because of radio jobs, except for California. When I was in Los Angeles, I was out there working on screenplays.
Let's begin with that. So you moved to Los Angeles. Is that when you wrote your book, or what did you do out there?
No, I was writing screenplays, and I was living with a girl that wanted me to do nothing but write and sex her up. And had she had
all right.
Had she had a greater ass, I probably would still be with her right now. But it was just too flat.
Shock jock over here.
No, I'm not trying to shock anybody. The ass was flat, and a brother can't roll like that. Who's trying to be funny? That's the truth. That's real talk.
So are you saying if she wore yoga pants, it'd be flat?
Exactly, yes.
Kind of like a flat banana or something, you know what I mean?
Griddle. Call her griddle ass. She's very nice, though. Greek girl.
Ooh,
she made weird sounds when we had sex too, though. She was
I bet that's great.
It was like a low moan, but it wasn't a sexy moan. It was kind of almost a release me moan.
Was it like the sound of like a coyote at night, sort of?
No, who was sleeping with a girl that sounds like a coyote at night?
I don't know. You seem kind of like a
that
freak.
would be a howl, you jackass. It was a moan. I thought she wasn't having a good time. How could she not be? But it still annoyed the hell out of me.
Maybe she was moaning like that because you never were able to get her to the top of the mountain. No. She's like, can this be over with already? Can Mo just go to the side?
She cried when I left. Trust me, I got her over the top of that mountain many a time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And going back to all the cities you lived in, like, what other cities did you live in for radio?
Baltimore, Columbus, and Cincinnati. And before you ask me, Cincinnati is a toilet.
You said it, not me.
I hated it. Hated Cincinnati.
Since you said
ugliest girls in the nation.
Okay.
Cincinnati.
Let me address that. I enjoyed my time in Cleveland. I made a lot of friends. I had fun going to the bars and clubs. But there is something in that water where there are no girls in Ohio. I don't know what it is. When you go to a nightclub, the ratio is like 1,000 dudes that are either ripped or fat compared to 2 hot girls, and everyone's swarming to them.
I don't know what it is. I wouldn't say it's all of Ohio because I think Dayton and Columbus
it's college towns.
Yeah, they have some beautiful girls, but my God, I can't speak for Cleveland, but they were fucking ugly in Cincinnati.
But did you ever take any home?
Fugly? I just wanted to get a fuck in there.
Oh, I bet. Right before the show, he's like, can I swear in here? I'm like, yeah, you can swear. I'm not going to swear.
That's the beauty of a podcast. Are you a Christian lad? Is that why you don't swear?
I was just talking about banging out a girl. I mean, I'm not clean by any means, but I pretend that this is terrestrial radio. I'm not going to be like, oh, duck that. Cluck that.
Listen. That is very wise of you. It's like a stand-up comedian that starts out dirty. You're never going to make Letterman. You're never going to make Conan, the Tonight Show or whatever.
Oh, I'm not clean by any means. I'm edgy, but I just don't go around being like a shock jock and serious, like saying MF, F, SH,
No, I understand, but
CR.
what I'm saying is that what's great about what you're doing in that fashion is that you are prepping yourself to be on terrestrial radio, so I admire that.
And I'm honored to be working with a great radio company, and it's like...
Oh, you meant the company.
Yeah, why the hell would I say, oh, yeah, I'm so honored to be working with Mo. Oh, yeah, answering phones for him is such an honor.
Well, thank you.
Where did you work in Baltimore? I'm a radio geek, so I might have heard of it.
WIYY, 98 Rock, Heritage Rock Station.
Were you there when Kirk McEwen was there?
Absolutely, I was there when Kirk was there.
Was he your guy or what?
Kirk was just starting out at 98 Rock. I was the morning show, Grego and Mo in the mornings, and Kirk used to idolize me.
What happened?
We got fired.
What?
And then Kirk became the de facto black guy on that station. I paved the way for Kirk McEwen. Ungrateful bastard. Okay. You ever hear him do an interview? Kirk.
You said it, not me.
Kirk.
Man, you got
Have
some
you met
venom.
Kirk? Do you know Kirk McEwen?
No, but I'm not going to say
I love him,
about
but
that.
it's Kirk.
And it's never mo whenever you talk.
I bore myself to death. I really do.
Tell me about the show you did in Columbus.
99.7 The Blitz was the station
You
I
and
worked for in
Blazer,
Columbus.
right?
Blazer and Mo in the mornings. It started out as Grego and Mo in the mornings. We went from Baltimore. There was a period where we were not together, and then we reconvened in Columbus for 2 years, and then he was let go, and they retained me, which is very unheard of or rare, if you will, in radio, where the head of a show will get let go, and they will keep the second chair. Doesn't
How
happen a lot.
awkward was it when that happened?
Wasn't awkward for me.
Well, I mean,
you want me to give you Grego's number? I was fine. Brother had to get paid.
Well,
I tried to warn him. He was at that time, and I love Grego to death, and we talk all of the time. But he had anger management issues, and he couldn't get along with the heads of state, if you will. And I would try and talk him off the mountain, man, or talk him off the edge almost every day, and it finally just got the best of him. And I think he went away, and I think he needed to go away. Got away from radio, and now he's a better soul. Doing very well, as a matter of fact, doing very well in television, which is surprising because he's an ugly motherfucker.
did he do it behind the scenes or
No, he's in front of the scenes.
what city? Do you know?
Houston.
It's a major market. Good for him.
Yes, absolutely.
You go from Columbus to, which is like a medium market, to Texas. That's damn good.
Absolutely. I went from Columbus to Tampa. That shows the lack of talent that I have.
Ooh. Once again, everything you say, I'm kind of just letting you say, like, this is the words of Maurice Jovan, not Ryan Hoppe. Not that I'm offended or anything, but there's times when I'm on your show that you kind of try to begin things and you try to, like, stir up some trouble.
Instigation, that is what you're talking about.
Yeah, so at times I'm kind of like, okay, Mo, you said it, not me. Okay,
listen,
whatever.
This is what you'll learn about Mo. See, I'm talking about myself in the third person. How douchey is that? Nobody
Very
takes,
douchey.
If you know me, you know not to take anything I say seriously. People understand the rhythm of the show, the Cat Named Mo show, and when I say they understand the rhythm of it, what I mean is they understand that everything I'm saying is primarily in jest, and even when I co-host Rewind show with Johnny B, they know that I don't approach anything but from a point of view of humor.
Before we get to BDRS and your time at the Bone so far, do you talk to Blazer anymore? I had a lot of people who know me from the show in Cleveland, and then they listened when it was on in Columbus, and they missed you a lot, and they wanted me to ask you, do you talk to Blazer anymore?
We don't talk, but we text every couple of months. He took it hard when we got let go at EBN Cincinnati, and it was his first big contract. I had a couple. I was happy to be let go from EBN because my marriage was failing, and as it was working out in the divorce, I was probably not going to be able to see my two boys but once every month and a half to 2 months, and that was not going to be enough. They need a father, and I want to be a father. So when they walked us in and let us go 6 months into a 3-year contract where we had taken them in 6 months from 13th to 6th place and was the number one TSL show in Cincinnati. When they let us go, I will be honest with you, Ryan, I smiled. I walked out of there. I went to my apartment downtown, and I said, yeah, I'm getting the hell out of this town.
Which show did you replace? I was in 13th place.
They had an interim cat. Cool Cat Shroom. He's doing afternoons now. He was interim until Eddie, I want to say Eddie Truck or Eddie something. It was a long-standing show that they had finally gotten too old for the demographic, and they let the whole group go. I think it was Eddie and the Cruisers.
And then what happened when you and Blazer were let go? Did they go to a music-intensive show, or what happened?
No, they brought in Kid Chris.
Okay.
And what had happened, and the reason we were let go was because our PD was let go because the program director of Clear Channel's Rock Cluster wanted the position at EBN as program director. And it just so happens he was great friends with Kid Chris, and it just so happened that at that time that he was getting the job or positioning himself for the program director job, Kid Chris's station flipped to Latino music, and so he was out of a job. And so it was the classic situation of the new coach bringing in his own quarterback.
So you were replaced by Kid Chris in Cincinnati.
Yes.
Which show replaced you in Columbus?
Loper and Randy, which I actually called them and told them when I was leaving Columbus. I did not get fired from 99.7 The Blitz. I actually quit that job. 6-figure job. I quit at morning show because...
Why?
Because
that's good money, dude.
Because that was the beginning of my marriage being in trouble. Fair
enough.
But the primary reason is because I was unappreciated there. They didn't want a successful morning show. They just wanted a morning show that got by, and it wasn't about to be away from my boys just to get by. I was either going to be doing something that was going to be able to benefit my family, or I was just going to be with my family. So I left.
And I guess that makes sense. I actually respect you for that, because a lot of people would actually forget about their kids and just be like, I'm making 6 figures, screw that. But you're actually a respectable person for choosing your family over that.
Ryan, I will tell you this. I learned very fortunately a long time ago, and I probably have to credit my mom with this. I learned very early on that happy is the best thing you can be.
And not rich.
Happy, absolutely. Not necessarily rich.
That makes sense. And before we get your
I'm not saying money can't buy you happiness, because it fucking can, man. It can buy you a shitload of happiness. But I've managed to circumvent the money that I don't have and still maintain a happy disposition.
Really? You seem like a pimp that would make it rain in the club. I didn't know that.
No, that's not. I've had money here and there. I'm okay. I do fine. Yeah.
That's good to hear. What was it like being a comedian? Like, how did that go overall?
How did it go overall?
Well, I had to put that in there.
I still am a comedian. I still do stand-up. I just headlined maybe 2 weeks ago, my birthday, the 27th of June, though my birthday is the 26th. It was my birthday show. I had no aspirations of being a comic. I don't even particularly enjoy it. It's just something I was able to do, and I do it. If anyone ever asks me what I do for a living, I rarely say stand up, or I rarely would say stand up. I don't even know that I say radio. If you look at my Twitter, I have 5 things that I do, and then I go, oh, and radio.
Why? Are you not proud to be on the radio or what?
No, it's just radio doesn't define me.
Novelist, a portion of the eternal.
That's the book I wrote.
Poet. This place is going to crash.
Plane is going to
Both
crash.
available on Amazon. Ducati rider, Bukowski rider, Jack drinker.
Bukowski.
Bukowski drinker, or writer, or reader. God damn it.
You do know reading is fundamental, right, Ryan?
Okay, dude, I'm not Floyd Mayweather over here. You have big words that are annoying.
You're close. What big word? It's his name, Bukowski.
Who the hell ever says that?
Bukowski. Ducati, it's a bike.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'm not in the background of Sons of Anarchy like you.
It's got the day when nobody on Sons of Anarchy would be caught dead riding a Ducati.
See, I don't know my motorcycles. How long have you had it, badass?
It's an Italian bike.
How long have you had it, badass?
My Ducati, probably 7 years.
Man, you got to get a new Ducati then. It's kind of getting up there.
No, it's a classic. It's a 2001. I never had it new. It's over 14, 15 years old, but I love it. It's a monster dark. It suits me.
Oh, yeah, it suits you.
I don't even know what that means, Ryan. Why you're laughing at yourself, but it's your show.
I'm very douchey. I laugh at all my jokes.
Your show.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I laugh at my own jokes.
That's okay.
All right.
Somebody has to.
Shut up. Do you ever, I don't want to throw you under the bus.
No, I don't.
Do you ever get drunk on a weekend or where you need a taxi?
No. I am a very good drinker, which is to say that I don't drinking is not a sport to me. It is an occupation. It is a profession. So I drink properly so that I didn't have to at the age of 21 go to rehab and not be able to drink for the rest of my life.
Ooh,
I don't
here.
have to at the 40s or 50s stop drinking. I can drink as long as I'm going to drink as long as I live, because I understand moderation.
What is your go-to drink?
Jack Daniels.
Ooh. Mine's Red Bull and vodka.
Why do you say "ooh" like that? It's
the worst drink. I hate Jack.
My God! It's an American institution.
Oh, it is.
It is.
So is Red Bull and vodka.
No, it is
and
not.
Bud Light.
It is not. What is that? Is that an institution amongst college sorority girls? And I was going to say something that would not be too politically correct.
I am very feminine. I have Red Bull and vodka. My favorite drink.
You might as well be drinking
bean.
a fucking Cosmopolitan. Red Bull and vodka. Come on. Any man that drinks Red Bull and vodka should not be calling himself a man.
Okay, dude, it gets you turned up, and at the same time it makes you chill because you have the mix of
bourbon, bourbon. Oh, clear liquors? You don't drink clear liquors?
I don't
be
like
brown.
the aftertaste, dude. It's awful.
That's because you just have to get accustomed to it.
Oh, dude, okay. Sorry, I'm not as badass as you.
Wow, you drink bourbon, you put a cigar in your mouth. You drink Cosmopolitans, you put a cock in your mouth. Which one do you want to put in your mouth?
You said
it's
it,
your
not
choice.
Me. All right. It says here in the news, this is from 10 News, WTSP, and this is from Tampa Bay and Sarasota, where we live. Drivers for Uber could be arrested if the company loses in a Tampa Bay courtroom, and the company, which lets you use a smartphone to find a driver nearby, they might get rid of it in Tampa Bay. What do you think of that? Because I find it utterly ridiculous, because even though it might be a bit of a sketchy app, you kind of need it because, number one, whenever you call a taxi, they're incredibly rude and they take really long to come. And number two, Uber comes within 4 to 5 minutes. And do people want DUIs, or do they want an app that's a little bit sketchy, but at the same time prevents DUIs? You know what I mean?
Not at all, but I'll still try and talk about it.
You don't know what that means?
I understand what you're saying. I have to be honest with you. With the Uber thing, I don't have an opinion because I'm not going to ever use Uber. So it's not
Why?
Because I'm not getting I don't know. I never get drunk enough to where I can't get myself back home. And generally, if I'm out at a place where I'm known or I know people, and I would just have one of them give me a lift.
Ooh, Mr. Popular. I'm a cat named Mo. Can someone drive me home?
It's not
goodness.
It's not what I said at all.
It seemed like you implied it.
It's not.
Hey,
there was no implication there.
Schmo, can you pick me up? I'm a cat named Mo from 102.5 The Bone.
First off, my friends call me Maurice.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They call you Mr. Jovan.
No, they don't. They call me Maurice.
I'm a cat named Mo.
I never refer to myself as a cat named Mo.
I do the worst impersonation of you. Nervous Jared or Johnny B do a spot on.
Johnny B does an okay one. He sounds a little bit too Clevelandish, but it works.
What does that even mean?
Cleveland, like Cleveland, the black guy from the cartoon.
Oh, I thought you meant like somebody from Cleveland, Ohio. I was like, what does that even mean?
You have a great grasp of pop culture. Did anybody ever tell you that?
The Cleveland show is one of the worst shows of all time. Sorry, I don't think of it when I think of the word Cleveland. Ridiculous. All right. It also says here, what do you think of Donald Trump as he slammed John McCain for no reason for being captured in Vietnam? But he says that the only reason he's a war hero is because he was captured.
Listen, this is what I will tell you. I am enjoying the hell out of watching Donald Trump fuck up the Republicans.
It is kind of true.
Because they can't get this fool to shut up. First off, you're an idiot if you think he's a viable candidate. He's not a viable candidate. Now, that is not to say that he could not be the popular vote. But he's not a viable candidate in so much as the Republican Party is never going to put him up as their nominee, because they know that the Democrats, no matter who they put up, would defeat him. Everybody is like, oh, man, I love Donald Trump because he speaks his mind. But in the end, that's not what this nation wants, because we're so PC now that you can't speak your mind and be popular.
I just find him to be incredibly disrespectful. The things he says doesn't seem like he would say it to anybody's face. Like, you know, when he said those things about Mexicans, if El Chapo came, he would piss his pants. He would cry.
Has there been a drug named than El Chapo?
It's a pretty badass name. It seems like a drug kingpin. They would try to find him like lethal weapon or something.
How do you take a presidential candidate seriously that's in a Twitter war with a drug lord? Now, don't get me wrong. I'd fucking love to see him in the presidency, but it's just never going to happen. But the Republicans, man, is he pissing them off.
I don't know if you saw, Penn Jillette was on Opie and Jimmy's show, and I guess Donald Trump slammed Penn Jillette. And nothing says presidential material like slamming a carny. You know what I mean?
Wait, did you just call Penn Jillette a carny?
Yeah.
He's like one of the most famous magicians in the world. He could buy and sell Las Vegas with
Even
you in
Penn
it.
Jillette called himself a carny in the
He's
clip.
not a carny.
He called himself that, so
No,
shut up.
he can call himself a carny. You can't refer to him as a carny.
Oh, what's he going to do? Come over and kick me in the balls? Get the hell
Is
out
this
of here.
show even being recorded? Nothing looks plugged in. I think you're just pretending to have a podcast.
You see Adobe recording? It is recording.
Sure, okay.
All right. What is your take on the Confederate flag as there was a rally in support of it in good old Marion County?
I don't think that you need a flag to remember history. I don't think you need a flag to show your heritage. I don't think the flag, most people that go, it's heritage. It's not your heritage. It just really isn't. And a part of the heritage of that flag absolutely has to do with slavery. Do I care if anybody flies it? Hell no. Do I think it needs to be flown on state grounds? No, only because it was part of a movement that wanted to secede from the government. And if you don't like the government, but the government wins, then you don't get to fly your loser flag on government property. But somebody with a pickup truck, somebody on private property, I could care less. I have more to worry about than what flag somebody's flying. I actually had a Confederate flag on my red Jeep Liberty when I was in Columbus. I called it Confederate Betty. I put the system on trial, Ryan.
Damn right you did. I bet whenever people drove by you on the highway, they were so incredibly confused. They're like, why is this guy with dreadlocks?
Dreadlocks. Thanks for not saying why was this black guy.
I was trying to keep it
that
PC.
Was what they had. That was the issue they had. It wasn't that a black guy had a Confederate flag on the back of his Jeep Liberty. It was the fact that I had dreadlocks. It was all about the hairstyle.
I'm trying to keep it PC. You know what I'm getting at.
No. Listen, you want to be good? You want to do well in radio? You want to be popular? You can't keep it PC. That's not to say you need to be stupid like Trump, but you don't want to be PC.
I'm just very cautious about what I say because in this day and age where there's fake outrage all the time, you got to be careful. I'm not going to be like clean and do like a show where I just play music. That's not my goal, but at the same time, I'm not going to be like, did you find it weird when people would look at you and you're like, why does the black guy have the Confederate flag? Like when I said dreadlocks, I think people knew what I was getting at.
But this is what I would say. I think you're okay if you go, did people find it odd when they pulled up beside you that a black guy was sporting a Confederate flag? I don't think anybody would say that was offensive. Don't let people define what's offensive. You've set your own.
You have to remember, I'm 21 going on 22, and I'm very low on the totem pole, and I'm just trying to keep it safe. Like whenever I do Periscopes or a podcast by myself, I'm always like thinking, who's listening to this? And I pretend I'm on terrestrial radio to try and like, I'm not like you where I'm a seasoned veteran and I can just say F and SH in a podcast.
There is nothing seasoned about me, but thank you.
Yes, you've been in like 9 different markets. Good for you. All right. I want to get your take on this. First of all, what is your take on how much athletes make before I get to this article about Washington Wizards point guard John Wall? Like, do you think they're paid too much or they're not paid enough?
I think that athletes should make what they can get. I'm not a particular fan of sports. I have no use for it, but you make it. That's what this country is about. Whatever somebody's willing to pay you, take it. Do I think athletes are overprivileged? I don't think that's breaking news. Of course, they're overprivileged, but it is what it is. If you want.
All right, I'm going to edit this part. It says here, the Detroit Pistons and guard Reggie Jackson agreed to a 5-year deal worth $80 million, giving the Pistons their guard of the future. The Pistons were happy about the deal. Reggie Jackson was happy, the backup point guard. But there was one point guard who wasn't too happy, Reggie. Do you watch the NBA?
No. Did you not just hear me say that I have no interest in sports? Do you even listen to your own podcast? I said it 3 minutes ago. I have no use for sports. And then 3 minutes later, you asked me if I watch the NBA. I am walking off this travesty of a program now. You idiot.
Well, what do you think about this?
Sure, I watch the NBA all year.
Yeah, you know everything about it, right? You know what I mean, Johnny?
Yes.
All right, it says here that John Wall, who is a top-tier player on the Wizards, he's mad that he's being paid $80 million, which is the same as a role player named Reggie Jackson is being paid on Detroit. So he basically came out in public and said, why am I being paid as much as Reggie Jackson? I'm John Wall, man. I'm an all-star. I went to the playoffs. Why am I being paid as much as this role player? What do you think of a player complaining and bitching that he's making as much money as a role player when there was the lockout 3 years ago and John Wall was one of the players that signed a CBA where you had the salaries be like this? And at the second part, it's like, you're set for life. As long as you don't make it rain every weekend at the nightclub, you're fine. What do you think?
I think that athletes, by and large, are big babies, and that explains the behavior.
It's like, do you remember who you were? You went from rags to riches. most of your fans have rags. Even I have rags. We're not rich by any means, and you're making $80 million. Shut the hell up.
I like your style, right?
It's like you have some great wall of China around you, and you forget that most of your goddamn shoes.
This is what you would have to ask yourself. Say you're on a say you're going to start a new planet because this one's going to somehow destroy itself. So you have to start a new planet, but you can only take 5 segments of society: scientists, humanitarians, teachers. Maybe entertainers, musicians. Let me tell you what would be on the last on the list: athletes. That's how important I find sports to.
I love sports.
Listen. There are certainly life lessons to be learned by sports, and certainly the activity and the community is very beneficial. But I think once it becomes a professional thing, I think all of that goes out of the window. I think as a child, playing sports develops you in ways that not playing it wouldn't. But again, once you reach the professional level of athleticism, I think it's about nothing more than the money, and that's it. And that's the problem that you have with the sport. Now, that's not to say that some of these players don't enjoy playing the game, but, would they play it if they were making minimum wage? I don't know. That's the question to ask.
Yeah, would they be playing it if they had to do a second job or even a third one with Uber? Would they find it as much fun playing in an empty arena and not a sold-out one in the playoffs? That's something I've always wondered because I feel like a lot of times the money gets to their head, this and that. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
All right, before we let you go, where can people find your work
I got to
online?
be honest with you. I checked out like 20 minutes ago. I've been gone for that long. But sure, go ahead. Before you let me go, what was the question?
Oh, I was going to promote your book, dude, but I guess you're too cool now. Oh, whatever. Interview's done. Thanks, Mo.
Sure.
Where can they find your book and your work online?
I wrote my debut novel. It's called A Portion of the Eternal, and you can find that on Amazon. The second book that I wrote is a book of poetry, which is entitled This Plane is Going to Crash, after one of my favorite poems in the book. Wrote that about my relationship. It was the last poem I wrote.
The one with the flat ass?
No. This is my wife at the time.
My bad.
No, she's my ex now, but it was the last poem I wrote about. I won't say to her because it was just about her, because I don't ever think I gave it to her. I think she ended up seeing it, but it's just about the inevitable.
I would assume she ends up seeing it. It's not like you're a famous author who's wrote 100 books. I mean,
I'm not.
It's pretty easy to find.
I know.
You type in your name, and one of the first things on Google is the website.
I know, but you do realize that if I was a famous author with over 100 books, that would make it actually easier to find my book. The fact that I've only have 2 actually is converse of what you said, and it makes it more difficult. But it's your show, Ryan, so you say whatever you want. Oh, man.
How has the book sales been? Pardon me asking that, but how have they been?
They're good. Unless you're with a major publisher, you're not going to get rich off of your first book or 2, especially not a book of poetry. But the satisfaction comes from the fact that I wanted to write a book, and I wrote it. And if you read it, it has absolutely beautiful passages that even I can't understand how I was able to write.
All right, and where can people find your show online if they're listening to the show in Cleveland or Columbus and they miss you there, Morocco or in Chicago? Where can they find it?
You mean you talking about the one I do on the Bone?
Any of them. Where can they find your work, brah?
They can find the books on Amazon.com, A Portion of the Eternal, This Plane is Going to Crash. Those are the 2 titles. The Bone app. You can stream me with the Bone app, and you can hear me Monday through Friday from 8 o'clock until 11 at night, and then you can hear me on Saturdays from 12 to 3, the Cat Named Mo Show.
1 second, let me just... All right. Mo, thank you for coming on a Happy Hour, dude. I hope you're honored because I was. This was a fun segment. We kind of busted each other's balls, but you're one of my favorite dudes in radio, so you're the man.
Thank you.
Maybe. We'll have to debate that later, okay?
This show is going to take you straight up to the middle.
You know what I mean, Jelly Bean?
Can I go now?
I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah, go drink some Jack Daniels, bro. You're so classy.
You better believe it.
That was the one and only Maurice Jovan, a.k.a. a cat named Mo. Peace out.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
This is an official broadcast of Hoppe Radio. For more info, check out hopperadio.com and hoppesworld.com.
I thought we was going to take turns on this. How come I'm still in the hole and you still... Is that the Jeffersons?
We traded turns, remember?
No.
You traded one of your turns for 3 of my turns and a turn to be named later.
Well, I tell you this. I'm going to be pissed if I get over there and he ain't changed the pH in our pool.
No, I'm with you on that one.
Hey, Carl, if you wouldn't mind, could you please turn your security grid the off so I can get some sleep?
Hang on, let me think. No.
Dude, you want to move your thing? You almost killed us. Yeah, are you begging me instead to, mess up your pizza face in front of your girlfriend over there? Because I'll do it, man.
Dude, it's not worth it.
Look at my shit, man. My dad's going to be pissed. Dude, do you know who his dad is? He's totally rich. He will totally hook you up, dude. We're drunk.
Are these friends of yours, Fry Man?
Hey, where's the club? I need to piss.
They came from space, you know. Typically, that means, you're somehow connected.
Carl, I've never seen him before in my life.
So then you don't mind if I talk to her?
Her? Yeah, knock yourself out. She's a regular hoe bag.